Yesterday afternoon, my channel was hacked. I want to say thank you to everyone who reached out to me on Twitter and Instagram to express your concern and to wish me well in getting the channel back. Thankfully, obviously, as you're watching this, I managed to get the channel back. How did I do it? Well, it was a painstaking process that I would rather not go through again, and to add insult to injury, I think it was my fault. So around 3:45 yesterday, I released my latest video. Wasn't expecting it to do well, to be fair, but on the other hand, it was a pretty emotional video. I put a lot of effort into it. The editing time on that was almost double of what it normally is because, like I said, I tried to put more effort than I normally do into a video. I didn't expect it to do well, to be fair, but before I even got a chance to do anything, when I went to answer some of the comments that had popped up, I couldn't gain access to the channel and I was locked out completely across all of my devices. Now, it's not just YouTube I was locked out of, it's Google, so Google Pay, the Google Play Store. So not only was I about to lose my livelihood, but I was about to lose a lot of money in the process as well, because now all of a sudden the hacker could potentially use my bank cards through the likes of Google Pay. I had two-step verification in place and a lot of other security measures that Google offer, but they managed to bypass every single one of them. Now, at this moment in time, I wasn't actually thinking about, oh, what about my Google Pay? What about this? What about that? I was literally thinking, how do I get back into my YouTube account? Have I lost this? Is it gone? Am I going to have to go apply for a job in CEX? Not that they'd employ me. At that point, I didn't really know what to do. There's nowhere to go. There's no one to speak to. There's no phone number to ring. The only thing I could think of was to go to Twitter. So I rushed over there, I contacted Team YouTube, and I waited. Luckily, I got a response and they went into the DMs and we started conversing back and forth, and then eventually they sent me a form that I had to fill out to try and retrieve the account. The fact that I got a response from them in the first place was brilliant. I'd managed to, get in contact with someone who could help me. But if I didn't have a Twitter account, and for someone who doesn't use Twitter, I can imagine that this would be an almost impossible situation. I went on to forums, I was Googling things, and there was nothing useful coming up. Now, that being said, I filled out this form to the best of my ability. There were a lot of the questions I couldn't answer. I needed access to my YouTube account in order to answer them, which was a little bit stupid. Maybe I should write everything down somewhere, and to be fair, I will going forward. I submitted the form, and at the bottom it said, please wait at least one business day for a response. That to me is a long time, especially as we're in different time zones. It could result in being almost 2 days of me waiting. I started to panic a little bit because at this point it wasn't just a case of I couldn't get into my account. The channel had been rebranded. There was a new logo, there was a new banner, there was a new name on the account in general. Over 6,000 of my videos, yes, I have that many, were removed, and a live stream had popped up. The live stream was some Bitcoin finance nonsense. It had like 1.9k views concurrent, which was mad. I'm guessing they were botted because it had 11,000 likes and it had been live for like 20 minutes. So I'm guessing they were botted, but who knows at this point. With that being said though, I started to really panic because that was all going on. I couldn't access the account. I couldn't contact anyone. I was just in limbo at that point. I was just being told to wait. 5 hours goes by and I eventually get a response. I say eventually as if 5 hours is a long time. I can spend 5 hours on the transfer market in Football Manager and it feel like 5 minutes. It's not really a long time, but when you're waiting to see if you've got a job, it can be a long time. The response was good news, but not great news at the same time. See, when I received the email back, a part of me was kind of half expecting it to be like, hey, we've managed to get the hacker out of your account, we've locked it, here's a link, click this, you can get your account back. Not that simple. The good news was they had identified that it was a hacker that gained access to my account and locked them out. They'd also suspended or closed at that point, I'm not quite sure which, the account, so it wasn't discoverable on YouTube. At that point, a lot of damage had been done, as I mentioned previously, but at least the ball was rolling in me gaining access to the account. But as I may have mentioned already, I am definitely a glass half empty kind of person, a skeptic if you will, so I wasn't confident of getting this channel back even though Google had acknowledged that there was a hacker in the account. So I had to jump through a few hoops and give them a little bit more information, and around 3 a.m. I got an email telling me that I would now be given access to the account again. So I went through all the appropriate steps at 3 a.m. and I got my Google account back, but I didn't have my YouTube account. Now, my Google account was obviously very important because you need that before you can get the YouTube account back, but when it comes to my videos and everything, I was still in the dark and I still didn't know what was going on. So I got access to my Google account. I had to email them back again to tell them that I was in and had had secured it with two-step verification again. And then I had to wait another 2 hours. It was around 20 past 5, I received an email saying that now my TVM YouTube account had been reinstated. All of the videos had been restored, but they were all private. And of course, all the branding was the same. The channel was still named MicroStrategy, whatever. So I gained access to it, and then I had to put the banner back up, the logo back up, and all that nonsense. Had to change the name. Luckily, I still could to my original name. And then I had to go through every single video manually, 50 at a time, and restore the visibility. Now, at this point, I've done, I think, less than 3,000 because I started to lose the will to live. But all of the video game collecting videos are now back up on the channel at least. And I think I've gone through all the FIFA videos up until around FIFA 19. So it's not like anyone's really going to miss the other 3,000 videos, but they are there on my channel. So I do want to make them public at some point because, believe it or not, they do actually still earn me money. So less than 24 hours after I was hacked, I got my account back, which is an astonishing turnaround. I genuinely didn't think I'd get it back within a week. I thought, this time next week, maybe I might have access to it. But even then, I was kind of thinking that I would never get access to it. So for them to turn it around that quickly is unreal. Props to Team YouTube on Twitter and Google, of course, for sorting all that out. A 5-minute FaceTime call with a member of the Google team would have been able to resolve this. It would have been literally a 5-minute job for them to realize, hey, you're the guy who owns this account, but you're not the guy who has access to it. Let's sort that out for you. So that is something that needs addressing, in my opinion. But with that being said, it's been, 10, 15 years at this point of people hacking other people's YouTube accounts. I don't think it'll ever really become 100% safe. So how did they get in? And more to the point, what would they have gained from it? Well, first off, what would they have gained from it? Well, about 5 minutes after I'd been hacked, I started receiving messages on Twitter, Instagram, even to my business email saying, hey, I've noticed you've just been hacked. How they would have noticed that quickly is beyond me, because at that point I hadn't even noticed. But they were casually just like, hey, go contact this guy on Instagram. He should be able to help you get your account back. Red flags going straight away. I am fairly tech savvy. I can build computers, I can build websites. I obviously run a YouTube channel. I live on the internet, so I know my way around. I'm not saying I'm a genius or anything. I'm fully aware that 90% of you watching could probably build a computer. It is essentially just a jigsaw puzzle, very expensive jigsaw puzzle. But I'm not in the habit of being scammed, and I can spot a scam a mile away. So when I was receiving all these emails, I went out of pure curiosity. I wasn't about to hand over any information or money, but I was just curious. So I contacted the person that everyone was suggesting on Instagram. He had around 6,000 followers, and he was a professional hacker who could get back into PlayStation accounts, Xbox accounts, and of course, YouTube accounts. So I sent him a DM and I said, what would you need or want for me to get my account back? And he said, I'll need the channel URL and I'll need around 30 to 40 minutes. Send me $100 and I'll get back into it for you. Right. Instantly, I was thinking, there's no way. If you've ever watched a soap in your life, you'll know that them asking for $100 is only the beginning, because then they could continue to say, well, I want more. I want more. Send me 1,000. Send me this. Send me that. That's when I contacted Team YouTube, and that's when we started the process of getting my account back. So lastly, how was it my fault, and what can you do in future to prevent people doing this? Well, for me personally, I believe it was my fault. Google can't confirm nor deny this, but I am 99% certain that this is the reason. The night before the hack, I received an email, and it was from NordVPN. They were after a 30-second ad in a video, and they wanted to know if I'd be interested. So I emailed back and I said, yeah, of course. Send me more information about what you'd want me to do within the 30 seconds, the finances involved and things. We never actually got to that, so if you're expecting me to give you a number, I would, but they didn't offer me a number at this point. We were more talking about what it would entail. So they sent me a contract with the figure in the contract. Now, this is pretty unusual. Normally you would discuss a figure in emails before a contract is drawn up, but as it was NordVPN, they're a company that everyone knows, a company that you'll recognize, so you won't really question it. The email was worded relatively well. Wouldn't say that it was perfect, and now that I look back over it, there are definitely some issues, but that's because I'm looking with a skeptical eye. I download the file, and already I know you're thinking, oh, that's why, and yeah, it is why. It's very common. It's almost 99% of the time that you'll be sent a contract via emails, an attachment. I downloaded it, and that is when the problem started. Little did I know, of course, that as soon as I clicked download, that's when I made my first mistake. To be fair, my first mistake was even answering them in the first place. My second mistake was downloading this contract. Within this file that I downloaded were a bunch of things, and that again, it's not uncommon to receive branding, whether it be images and a text document with what they would like you to say, and or a loose thing of what they'd like you to say, and of course the agreement itself. So I went to open the agreement, wouldn't open. Looked at the file type, which you should always do before you open anything, by the way, and it was a file type that I didn't recognize. Went back and had a little look, couldn't really work out how to open it, sent them another email, how do I open this, blah blah blah. Went to sleep, didn't think anything of it, thought when I wake up I'll find out how much they're offering and whether we're going to do it or not. We approached the time up at the video live, and then just after I get hacked. I'm very lucky that I've got the account back, and also very stupid that happened in the first place. Like I said, I am pretty savvy when it comes to this sort of thing. I've never been scammed before. Mark my words, I will never be scammed again, because I am not going to trust anything or anyone going forward. Don't be stupid is the moral of the story. The video that was deleted yesterday, less than an hour after it went live, will go live tomorrow now. I do still have the original file, so I can re-upload it. It's not a problem. If you could check that out around 3:45, I would be very, very grateful, because as I say, a lot of effort went into that video and I would really appreciate all the support I could get on it. So thank you everyone who has stayed the course and remained subscribed. And of course, if you aren't subscribed, please consider doing so. If you want to check out another video from me, you can click here. And until the next time, goodbye.